What's up, guys, and welcome back to Glam Japan. I'm Cameron. I'm the guy who holds together the ship, and today I'm bringing out the magazine Blush. And the reason I'm bringing this out is because I know there's a lot of folks out there that weren't around in 2001. Some of you probably weren't even alive to pick this up when it did come out, because it had a very limited run. I put this out in 2001 as a sort of a primer to foreign fans of Visual Kei who just might be getting into it, just to give them an idea of what was going on in the Visual Kei scene in 2001, get them interested, hopefully get more fans to it. This was, not to pat myself on the back, this was a very important piece of Visual Kei history, because back in 2001, we didn't have the websites that we have today. We didn't have the reference material. There was virtually no other websites except mine and another one that helped people with Visual Kei. The internet in 2001 was very much in its infancy. So this was something that I felt was needed for foreign people to possibly introduce them. So let's take a look at the magazine, because I know a lot of people don't even have it and maybe have never seen inside it. So let's go through it now. And take a look. Okay, so here's the cover. On the cover I went with Miyavi for obvious reasons. He was huge at the time, and just seeing him when he first came out with Dula Quartz, just seeing him live was just unbelievable. This guy, oh my God, a fountain of talent and showmanship. The likes, he took the scene by storm. Everybody knows this already, so to put him on the cover was a no-brainer. Okay. So let's go through it. Okay. If you don't know some of the bands, I don't really know if you don't know them. I don't know what you don't know. So I'm just gonna presume that you kind of have a brushing idea with some of the names here, and we'll go from there. So I put myself here as a part of an editorial in the beginning, and I'm in there with, that's me and Ruma from 4D Viable. The photo was taken at Ikebukuro Cyber, where I first saw them. Okay, on the bottom we have Syndrome. This is basically just an introduction editorial. Nothing I'm going to read to you, it's not a bedtime story, and we move on. Okay, so the main thing of the magazine at this point was a Visual Kei home starters kit. This was basically a Q&A to an easiest way for me to introduce Visual Kei to people who didn't really have a lot of information on it or experience with it. So for example, we'd start with the basics, like what is meant by the term Visual Kei, how does Visual Kei compare to traditional glam metal in America, how much of what is currently Japanese visual do you think was influenced by American glam British rock, blah, blah, blah. How much of a role does androgyny play in Visual Kei? All the primers that people usually ask right out of the gate were asked in this starters kit, and it goes for 2 pages. Why hasn't America? In America, we some degree of Visual Kei. Who do you think is the audience? How often does a Visual Kei band become a major label band? Stuff like that. So I peppered this with pictures that I took myself of lives, because I felt that would be interesting to some people rather than me just stealing stuff from Shocks. So Sadista Shula, Despars Ray, that's a really nice vintage early shot. And over here, we've got Misery, Lure and Celine, Beata, and of course that's a nice shot of Kei from Das Wasser. And there's Lewin Spear. Oh, where have we seen that recently? Let's press on, folks. So we go over there. Again, part 2 of it. Sadi stuff for images. And again, more images I took from lives. Okay, so you got Second Effect right there. That's Chucky. That's La Deathtopia at Saitama Narcissus. And this is Cool Licked. This is taken at Takadana Baba area. Okay, go on. Okay, next page. For those of you who know me, my first band was not Darian Gray. In fact, I've never seen Darian Gray play. I'm not really interested in major acts. I'm interested in small indies bands because I like small live houses. I like to interact with fans. I like the staff that works at live houses. It's much more social and interactive, and it's personal and intimate, and that's what I'm into. I'm not into packing into a huge arena and having just masses of people go absolutely bonkers. If I want that, I'll ride the Japanese subway. Okay, Syndrome was my first band that I loved. So this is basically a Syndrome biography, talking about the band, stuff that I translated. Well, I didn't translate it. I couldn't. I can barely order ramen in Japan, but this was stuff I had translated. And then we go through various CDs and demo tapes, and I basically review them like you would any other CD tape review. Then we go on to Misery. Same thing. Big story on Misery here. Most of this was my own writing. I didn't really translate it. I just had seen the band so much. I got information on them and just kind of parlayed it into an article with actual photos, live photos I took from the band. And a lot of these were Rock Macon. That was actually from one of the photo sets. That's a great one there. Yeah, I love this band, man. Oh, damn. When they, like, visually, they were just about everything I wanted in a band, visually. Misery. Fantastic. I go on. Now, no shades of gray and secrets here. Dula Quartz. This band was a major occurrence in 2001. If you were on the scene and knew of it and you were there, Miyabi, later Miyavi, he redefined visual Kei indies when he came out. He was just, wow. So here's an early image of them when they first started with their different Ken was at their time the guitarist. And again, on the side we have information about each member, photo set pictures. Let me go over. Again, sometimes you have to just take pictures from other sources because the reality was in Visual Kei that sometimes photos were not allowed. You were not allowed to take pictures. So Dula Quartz was one of those bands that they did not allow you to take pictures during live. Some did, some didn't. And Dula Quartz PS Company was one of them. So then we move on. Yeah, Sanaka. Wow, Fatima. How can you not love this? I mean, Sanaka is the kind of guy who, I could just watch him peel potatoes. I wouldn't give a shit if he played guitar or sang. I could watch this guy just peel potatoes in his underwear. Well, won't go any further than that because that's reserved for paying customers. But yeah, Fatima was great. I saw them a bunch of times. I really liked this look, especially. My favorite was, of course, these two. The gown and the medical wear. Oh, the medical wear one was just fabulous with the white corset. And, wow, just such je ne sais quoi. Let's move over. Whole article on Kaguru. Another one of my favorite bands. I kicked off the first issue with like the biggest indies acts that were around at the time, and Kaguru was definitely one of them. Then we go to the center spread, two photos, both of which I took myself. These were actually taken with 35mm film, not a digital camera. There was no digital DSLRs, and if there was, I couldn't afford them. This was shot with 35mm roll film, and you can see the quality. That, of course, is Kazuki from Jill Kadith, and that's Kanai from Misery. Both these guys I would later meet out of makeup and off the stage. Both very nice guys. I think Kanai, he carried this particular photo in his wallet. I gave him a copy of the photos that I took from this particular event, and I think he carried this one in his wallet, he told me. Yeah, just the work. Let me just get close here if I can. The work that goes into it, even in this photo, the eye makeup. And what always blew me away was the work that these guys put into their outfits and their hair and their makeup to play for 500 high school girls or junior high school girls. Think about that. I mean, the work and dedication, the contacts. He's even wearing silver eyelash, silver eyelashes. I mean, it's just incredible. And the same here. The work. At one time I had that eye patch, but I sold it a while ago. But again, the work that goes in always blew me away. Let's tilt down there. Okay, let's continue. Darian Gray there, that was written by Ben Perry. I knew nothing about Darian Gray, and I still don't. Whole article on Marion Blood, another really good band. Just loved Marion Blood. A Soleil band. Started out with mostly demo tapes. There we go. And there they are there. And that was one from the Rock Macon you got in 2001. Dearest of Darkness. That was if you went to the show. Okay, moving on. Another one. Again, another one of my favorite bands was Cynthia. This article was written, the interview was conducted by Bronnie, a girl named Bronnie, a friend of mine in Japan, and she conducted the interview after their last live in the Rock Macon. And so this is kind of like the last live type of interview with all their review of all their material, former CDs, demo tapes. It was a great last live. They actually released Memories of Cynthia. It's not pictured here because it came much later. It was a mail order CD you had to order, and it's basically a best of CD with all their songs, including cuts from the last live. So live tracks, Memories of Cynthia. If you can find it, good luck. It was delayed for over a year, and I finally got mine in the mail, and I keep it in my shelf, and it's one of my great treasures. Now we move into demo tapes. Demo tapes are fantastic. I love demo tapes. Let's just take a quick look at some of these. Let's tilt it up so we're not having to bend the magazine. So demo tapes. Let's quickly look at these. There we go. Here live. Luna DeMille, another fantastic band live. Great band live. Go up to here. Mayfist, another great Matina band. Lots of fun. A band you may not have heard of is Die Weiss. There we go. Platina, yeah. Oh yeah, Platina was just wonderful. Very nice guy, very nice guy. And there you go. So we got a lot up here. I just recently sold this tape actually. Shula was another band that was really good. Great CDs, a lot of fun on stage. Just you could really groove to them. Marie de Creo was great too. All these bands were like kind of my favorite bands at the time. Demo tapes, Chucky. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff there. Like, no, I remember this live. This was weird. These guys were weird. The instruments they played were not traditional. One guy came out with this giant, looked like some kind of giant stringed, I don't know what it was, like an oboe or something. Oh, it was weird. But they were very entertaining. But again, a lot of you may not even have heard of them. Okay, there we go. God, this video is going to be a feature film. Oh, look, color. Here's some more. Oh, it's a good thing I tilted that camera back down, eh? Yeah, it's a good thing. Let's bring that up. Okay. Gigi. There they are there from a free photo you got with the tape. It's amazing that I actually remember these lives. I actually remember them. Yeah, Crack Brain was great. And of course, on the bottom left is Hizaki. Larmia, that was a photo I took from one of their lives. And there's Revival Judith. Lure and Celine, wow, what can I say about this band? Just amazing. Oh my God. I saw them a lot at Takanonobaba area. And Hisa, this one here, oh my God, what a showman. All in red leather and just, white face and kabuki, just fantastic. What a band. They were entertaining on a level you just didn't often see. Constantly moving, sensual with his movements and his singing, just fabulous. Just fabulous. Loved it. Okay. On we go. Down we go. That's what she said. Let's move it on, folks. I got pancakes on. Okay, finally, my Death Grail, full article on them. That's another one of my favorites. We'll move over. And then we get into little mini albums. Oh, good Lord God, Jesus in heaven. Here we go again. Okay. Mini album review. Garden, again, one of my favorite bands. I love the Matina bands. Matina was really my favorite label at the time, probably because I saw so much of them. Vertigo, Bang Doll. Dolce. So it's not really Doll's Eye, it's actually pronounced Dolce. But, you know, whatever. And there's a device down there. And of course we have, can't forget this, Death Cupid. I loved shooting them. They were lots of fun to shoot because he was really animated on stage, and a lot of great pictures. Let's just keep that like that for a second. Okay, let's turn the page. Oh, I'm learning from my mistakes. Here we go. Chateau Latour. Metempsychosis was like a best of CDs in a way. And I'm not going to mince words. This band was in a class all of its own. If you ever got a chance to see them, like he couldn't hold a note if it had like attached to a dump truck. This guy was tone deaf. He couldn't sing a fucking note, but damn, he was entertaining as hell. He would get the girls in the audience, all these high school girls or junior high school girls in their little outfits, to crawl on stage like animals and surround him and worship him on stage. It was bizarre, and they would do it. Just crazy. Chateau Latour was wild. They always delivered. Hugo was an incredible showman. He had no vocal talent whatsoever. And anybody who's listened to his albums, I mean, they can't even, tweak him on an album, let alone live. But on a level of entertainment, oh my God, he was fantastic. You went to the show just to watch him. And Orugoru, one album, one CD. They were great. If you can find this CD, it's really worth picking up. It's 3 tracks. I have it, but you can't have it. And of course, well, geez, enough said. That's like the primer. And on the bottom, there we go. Racine. Now this, as you'll probably notice, is Dewey. This is before they became Lou and Spear, I believe, if I remember correctly. Okay. Down we go. We're almost finished. Geez, the magazine's almost over. You've probably noticed by now that if you bought this magazine, you got a lot for your money, kids. You got a lot for your money. There's a lot of value here. The value went in before the name went on. So here's some more. Just again, these are, the article was latest lipstick new groups with glam to grind. So we went on to a lot of new bands. Some of these you may have heard. Again, I took all these photos for myself. 35 millimeter, you can see how nice 35 millimeter cameras are and capturing images. Just way better than digital. And then De Maria. He laughed when I put him in this magazine. Karuma. He was a nice guy. Lalacious. I remember them. I saw them in a club like way out in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't even a Visual Kei club. It was just like some random live house. And I saw pictures of them and I said, wow, I'm definitely going to see that. Lalacious is how it was pronounced. And there's, look how small he is. Kawaii. Very cute. Unbelievably small. He was a tiny guy. I have a picture with me and him together and it's like, oh my God, he's so small. I could put him in my pocket. And of course, Shula. A lot of people who probably know Shula probably don't remember them like this. And that was 2000 era. Just like so cool. So cool. Shula. Okay, let's go over the page. And we're getting to the end of it, yes. And then we have, this is continuing with the Syndrome article. And finally we have coming in November. This was to be the next Blush and it never happened. Never happened. It was all designed, it was all ready. Jakuro was going to be in it, the Pias, Misery, Syndrome, Dispar's Ray, a lot more. Jakuro on the cover, and it never happened. So, yeah, unfortunately. Anyway, that's it. That's Blush, 2001. One issue only. Very difficult to find these days, but anyway, I thought I'd share it with you. wow, it's taken 20 minutes to go through that magazine. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. This is Cameron at Glam Japan, and keep the faith.